السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, yesterday I came to your beautiful city and we had a program at Darul Quran. And before the beginning of the program, we had a non-Muslim that came. Alhamdulillah, he had watched some of the videos and some of the brothers had spoken to him, but he wasn't convinced. So I sat with him for a little while. And we spoke. Alhamdulillah, before we began the program, he decided to accept Islam. Alhamdulillah. And he accepted Islam, and then he sat for the talk and the QA, and then we spoke to him afterwards. And when I got back to the hotel, I decided I had a couple of hours, I'm going to get some sleep before. And I laid down, and one hadith kept going over in my head, and I couldn't sleep. So I still haven't slept. So I'm going to share that hadith with you because it kept me awake and inshallah it'll keep you awake. And the hadith, as you well know, is about the three men who were tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sahih hadith. And these men, interestingly, when you look at the hadith, their tests were very different. One of them was a leper. Leprosy is a very harsh disease. If you've ever seen a leper, or at least read about it, and your skin's falling, parts of your body start to deteriorate, starts to rot. They used to have leper colonies because they wouldn't allow them to live. It's contagious, right? So they would put them out in these places to go and die, basically. And the other person, I'm going to skip a little bit, is blind. He is somebody who can't see, which is also very difficult. It's a difficult test. If you can't see, think about it, like alhamdulillah, as far as I can see, all of you have sight. Every day, when you go through your daily life, can you imagine just you can't see anything? Just simple tasks like opening a door, getting in a car, going to the masjid, going to work, seeing your children, like when you recognize your children's face, it's a difficult test. And one of the men, he's bald, which is not that big of a deal, right? If you're bald, people shave their heads for fashion nowadays. But that is the part of the hadith that kept me awake, which is that a lot of times we don't realize the bounties of Allah upon us, and something very small can throw us off track. We take it so big that it becomes like a hindrance for us. And this brother that accepted Islam, the things that were keeping him from becoming a Muslim were very, to me, they were nothing. Talking to a lot of people about Islam, some people have real challenges. If I become Muslim, my parents will kick me out and I'll become homeless. My wife will leave me. My kids will disown me. I'll lose my job. I work in a bank. I work in this. So sometimes you have real hard challenges. And sometimes people are like, well, my family eats a lot of pork. And so what, man, don't eat it. But that's the important part, that we need to understand that everybody's test is different. And everybody's test is serious to them. So here in the hadith, when we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent malaika, I know you all know the hadith, it's a reminder, inshallah. And the leper, the angel, he asked the leper, what do you want most in the world? Think about yourself. Don't read hadith or listen to hadith or read the Quran where you kind of just pass over it, tadabbur, contemplate. How many times in your life have you had a situation where there was something you really wanted, like some hardship. Like maybe you were born in another country and it was a hardship and you were trying to come to America, or maybe you were trying to go to pass school, or you were trying to get a job, or pass a grade for a university, or something that was like a real, like at that time that was the whole world to you. It was a stress. You were trying to earn rizq and you didn't have a way, and imagine yourself. So this person is in that situation. And he's asked, like, what is it that you would want the most in the world? And he said, I want nice skin. I want this disease to be taken away from me. May Allah protect us all. Maybe some of you went through COVID. Maybe you got COVID, right? But now you forgot about it, right? All that's gone. Now the COVID, stress, everything's clean. Like you don't even remember it anymore, right? As if it never happened. As if Allah didn't take you out of that. As if Allah didn't protect you, as many people that died from it, but Allah kept you, gave you this life and protect. See, now that bounty we forget. And I started thinking about myself and the time when I was away from Islam and I was away from everything, and the time where I was in the darkness, and it reminded me of the person I met yesterday, and then it reminded me of myself and reminded me of this hadith. At that time, I remember thinking, like, if only Allah takes me away from all of this and puts me on a path to right, this is all I want, right? And I'll never be unthankful and I'll never turn back in this. And now, many times I don't even think about the fact that Allah protected me. I mean, am I spending day and night, every moment, thanking Allah that He gave me what I asked for? Right? So this man, he's a leper. And Allah asks him through the malaika, through the angel, what do you want most in this world? And he said, I just want good skin. Now look at the mercy of Allah. All he asked for was good skin, but Allah didn't just give him that. Allah told him, through the angel, that you will have that. And on top of that, ask, what type of rizq do you want? Look at the mercy of Allah. Allah doesn't, now think back to yourself. When you were going through that hardship, whatever hardship you went through, whatever need you had, whatever want you had, did Allah only give you that? No, Allah gave you more than that. Every time you breathe, it's a blessing from Allah. Every time you go to the bathroom, it's a blessing from Allah. Every time you eat, every time you sleep, every time you wake up, every time you walk, Allah also gave you 2 legs and 2 arms and 2 ears and so many other facilities in your body. It's not just what you ask for. Allah always gives you more than that. And he's asked, what do you want? What type of rizq do you want? He said, I want a camel. Allah gave it to him. A pregnant camel. And not just a pregnant camel, Allah then multiplied that. Now imagine me and you. Whatever hardship we went through, Allah took us out of that hardship, and then on top of that, Allah gave us other bounties and multiplied them till today we're sitting here. Now the same test is put to the bald man. Now he's bald. To him, that's the greatest calamity. That's the hardest thing in the world, is that I don't have hair. Right? Leprosy, but this guy's worried about hair. But that's how it is. Humans are like that. Right? So he's asked the same question. What do you want? He said, all I want is hair. I want a full set of hair. I want to not be shunned for being bald. And the angel tells him, okay, we'll make dua to Allah. Allah will give it to you. And what else do you want from rizq? From what type of rizq do you want? He said, I want cattle. He said, you're given a pregnant cow. You will have it, and Allah will bless it. And each one of them, it grew. The valleys being full. Like they became rich and wealthy. And the last of them, the blind man. Now again, the hardest thing to him is being blind. So he's asked, what do you want? He said, I want sight. I want to see. Allah gives it to him. What do you want? I want sheep. Give him a pregnant sheep and increase it. The valley is full. Now, this we all know, right? This 3 tests. Then we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the angel in a form that it wasn't the angel. And he came to in a form that looked like a poor man. And that poor man goes to this man with the clear skin now, no more leprosy, and tells him, in the name of Allah that cured you, that took that hardship away from you, that cleared up your skin, that gave you all of this, I'm just in need of one thing, some help for the sake of Allah, help me. This is Jahil insan. Here's the response. What? No, what are you talking about? My skin's always been nice, man. Allah didn't give me all this. This is from my forefathers and my hard work. And subhanAllah, today we say the same things. Someone tells you, mashallah, Allah blessed you with the job. But I worked hard for this. I'm a self-made man. I hate that statement, I'm a self-made. Self-made? You forgot the dua of your mother? You forget the hard work of your father? Forgot the barakah that Allah gave you? You forgot those times that you could have failed and Allah made you successful? What's self-made? No, I spent these many years studying this and this and this. You're nothing. Your years of studying are nothing. Your knowledge is nothing. Your effort is nothing. It's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then, when we're in need, then everybody owes us. This is our mindset. If I need somebody to help me do something, as if like the person owes me from 7 generations, How dare he not help me? You know who I am? Yes, you're nobody. And then if somebody else needs something, oh man, I helped a guy this morning. How many people am I gonna help? Like, khalas, go to somebody else. Imagine if Allah treated us like that. How many times we turn to Allah and ask for things, and Allah gives them, and then if we turn again, Allah never tells us, go turn to somebody else. No, Allah loves us. He brings us back. He gives us and gives us. And even when we become ghafil, even when we become heedless, Allah doesn't stop the rizq from us. Imagine if you stop making dhikr and your heart stops. If you stopped thanking Allah and your kidneys stopped working. If the moment you got lost in the dunya, suddenly your bank account and your money and your food would just vanish. No, Allah is merciful, Halim. And He allows even the kafir, mushrik, burning the Quran, and he's breathing the rizq, the air that Allah gave him. And he's eating the rizq that Allah gave him. And he has nowhere else to go. He's not going to get away. He's also still going to go back to Allah. Now the same question and test that these are mentioned in the hadith, we go through. Right? Same way we get tested. But now think about how your response is. Before you criticize the man with the leper, think about the fact that how many times were you helped and how many times you turn other people down for help. How many times did you make it by the will of Allah? And how many times do you sit at night and cry and thank Allah, Ya Allah, you took me out of dhulumat, Ya Allah. I was on the way to an-nar, Ya Allah, you took me out of the way of an-nar, you took me out of dhulumat ila an-nur. How many nights have we spent in the last week, in the last month, just sitting and thanking Allah for making us Muslim? Just thanking Allah for making us from the ummah of Rasulullah alayhi salatu salam, from the ummah of the Quran, from the best of nations. Not just, okay, Allah, I need this, I need this, I need this. How many times did we just sit and thank Allah? So the man who's a leper, he says no, he denies. He's jahil, he becomes arrogant. And the angel tells him, okay, if what you say is true, that Allah didn't give you all this is what you always had, then okay. But if it's not, may Allah put you back to your condition, he goes back to his old state. This is the scary part. What if we are not thankful and Allah takes His guidance away from us? What if we don't act deserving of this knowledge and Allah takes it away from us? If Allah gives you something, He can take it away. We look at the people of the nations before us, and Allah took this bounty of Islam away from them. Ben Israel, and you look at the Qawm of Lut alayhi salam and the Qawm of Nuh alayhi salam, they were destroyed. How many times do we sit and fear that what if Allah takes His bounty away from us? How can we be thankful? How can we be firm upon the Quran and the Sunnah and upon the Haqq so that Allah doesn't take it? Because Allah will bring somebody else. Same question is asked of the bald man. And he says, no, I've always had hair. I always had this cattle and sheep and bulls and cows. I've always had them. From my generations, I'm rich. And same result. The angel tells him, fine. And he goes back. The only one that's saved is the one that was blind. And when he's asked, he says, yes, he admits to it. Yes, I was blind, and Allah gave me sight, and I had nothing, and Allah gave me all these sheep, and take what you want from it. Now, does the angel take it? No. Tells him, Allah bless it for you. It's just a test. Same thing with us. When Ibrahim alayhi salam is told to slaughter his son, does he slaughter his son? No. It's just a test. Allah doesn't ever ordain upon you what's bad for you. It's a test. And if you're firm in your test, Allah will bless you. And if you're unable to see past and you falter, then Allah will take everything away. So, as a reminder for myself and my brothers in Islam, a short reminder inshallah, thank Allah for whatever you have. If you're Muslim, that's a great bounty from Allah. If you're not in the dhulumat, in the darknesses of shirk and kufr and bid'ah and dalala, and to misguidance, to different ways of misguidance, thank Allah. Don't sit there with kibr. Don't sit there looking down on people. Don't sit there like, I'm Salafi. Those guys, they're not. You're off. No. Me. If you don't accept me, you're all off. Sit there and thank Allah. Ya Rabb, I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I was going down everything wrong. You guided me. You protected me. I had no strength. You strengthened me. I had no knowledge. Whatever I have is from you. And any time you meet others that are upon something else, whether they're Christians or they're atheists or they're people of bid'ah, don't just sit and look down on them. Rather, be kind, lutf, be gentle, lean, and speak to them nicely with akhlaq, manners, and hope that Allah guides them as Allah guided us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all upon the haqq, upon the Quran and the Sunnah and the way of the Salaf al-Ummah. Really, I'm not deserving to speak in front of shuyukh and ulama, but again, due to al-amr fawq al-adab, I spoke. Whatever I said right, inshallah, is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever I said wrong, may Allah forgive me and my shortcomings. Jazakumullahu khairan. Khalas, khutbahs on you guys now.